I never thought I'd ever make a video on this, but we do have a little bit of free time while we wait for the free agency craziness to begin next week. I figured I could slip this video in here in addition to what else we're uploading today, because I thought it's a funny story to cover. Why the hell not? So before we get to the content, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. We are on the grind to 700,000 subscribers, and we're still 10,000 subscribers away from catching my Flight Mike basketball channel. And now that we get all that out of the way, break! There's no worse feeling in the entire world than when you're out and about in the rain and you unfortunately step into a puddle. All of a sudden you feel water seeping into your socks and you know that your feet are about to be cold and pruned for the rest of the day. But what if I told you there's a company that is doing everything in its power to make sure that never happens to you again? Introducing the Vessi Stormburst. This sneaker will change your life because it's waterproof, because it's made out of a material called Dymatex, which is a dual climate knit material that keeps you cool in the summer and warm in colder weather. It doesn't feel like this sneaker should be waterproof, but it is. Vessis will have your feet dry in the wettest of weather. They're comfortable and stylish sneakers that you can wear every day, so you don't have to wear uncomfortable boots every single day that it rains. The Vessi Stormbursts are comfortable, durable, and breathable. They are grippy and warm. This is all the features in a rubber boot that's built into a stylish sneaker. So if you live in a very rainy climate, the Vessi Stormburst will make your life significantly easier. And right now, when you click on my link in the description down below, or just go to vessi.com/microphone, you'll get 15% off of your whole order. That's vessi.com/microphone for 15% off of your whole order. And thank you, Vessi, for the sponsor. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? For those of you guys that have been following this channel for quite some time, if you've been subscribed for quite some time, you'd already know the story of the Mahomes family. We've covered them a lot last year, and to their credit, not as much this year. It doesn't necessarily have as much to do with Patrick Mahomes, but it is the one thing that causes people to dislike Patrick Mahomes. Not necessarily him as the person. I mean, he's damn near perfect off the field and on the field, but it has more to do with the company he keeps, and it's through no fault of his own. I mean, this past year, it seems like the Mahomes family also threw Pat Mahomes into the mix, so you can see how cool his dad is, and that man is awesome, I have to admit. I mean, look at this interview if you don't believe me.
You know I love you. You know I love you. I try to watch it every day. I watch it every day. I watch, yeah. I ain't smoking on those Joe Barrows today. I'm smoking on the Philly Blunts today. Hey, that's what I'm smoking.
The issue has to do more with his wife, Brittany, and his brother, Jackson. Now, for those of you guys that don't know, Jackson was a former 4-star recruit in basketball that essentially gave up on basketball to ride the coattails of his brother. And since he had a series of events that just made him look horrible 1 year ago, I mean, from dumping water on the Baltimore Ravens fans to dancing on Sean Taylor's memorial, all the way to trying to get a restaurant canceled for them not serving him quickly enough when they were severely understaffed. Yeah, he actually did that. The restaurant did clap back, and it just made Jackson look even worse. The series of those events, and then you combine that with what Brittany did last year, and I think honestly the worst thing she did last year was in the beginning of last season. And bear in mind, this is in 2021 when the Buffalo Bills were facing off against the Kansas City Chiefs, and she was just tweeting like crazy on that particular day, ripping the refs, saying a bunch of obnoxious stuff. I think the main part of this situation that just irked me personally was one fan in a now deleted tweet replied to her tweet where she said, "The refs are never in our favor." The fan replied saying, "Girl, I need you to stop. This was my team long before Patrick was here. It's not giving the organization a good look. The Chiefs are bigger than you, me, or any one player." And the way she decided to engage with this fan was in the nicest way possible, shut up, with a smiley face. This is the wife of your franchise quarterback telling a longtime fan to shut up. Could you imagine how that fan felt when she read that? I mean, that's gotta be gut-wrenching. This is the greatest Kansas City Chiefs quarterback of all time's wife telling you to shut up. And I think that was the worst thing that she's done. I mean, yes, there's videos of her spraying champagne on fans. There's videos of her screaming into a camera. That looks terrifying, but But I like to make this a point of emphasis. This was all last year. It seems like in the offseason, maybe Patrick, maybe their publicist, I don't know who, had a conversation with Brittany and Jackson and said, look, do whatever the hell you want, but make sure you guys cool it down during the season. And I think that's how the conversation went, because it seems like the moment the Super Bowl ended, you had Jackson dancing on the field while the Chiefs were celebrating. There's even an interview clip of Patrick Mahomes talking with NFL Network, and you see Jackson in the background dancing around, and it seems like Brittany Mahomes is also back. Now look, throughout the year, we did get little glimpses of Brittany Mahomes, and to be honest, it was when she had little beefs that I personally thought were low-hanging fruit. For example, you guys remember when Bart Scott said this about the Kansas City Chiefs?
Could be a reset year where you guys missed the playoffs.
Side note here, I think Bart Scott might be one of the worst analysts ever. I think he's one of those people that tries so hard to be shocking and tries so hard to say stuff that is 100% incorrect just to get a reaction, just to farm impressions, just to farm replies and comments, that I don't really take anything he says seriously at this point. I mean, some people may find him entertaining. I don't necessarily think it's great information or great takes, but if you find him entertaining, more power to you. I think the info in that sense, not necessarily the greatest. Maybe he starts hitting on his takes as a result of this, but earlier on February 15th of 2023, you had Brittany tweeting this image of Bart Scott saying that the Chiefs will miss the playoffs this season. Man, that was a wild take. And then she kind of rubbed salt into the wounds. I think a lot of people need to apologize for what they said about this team at the beginning of the season. If you're reading this and you're not necessarily the biggest fan of hers, you can see how that's just a little bit irritating. I mean, Patrick is crushing it, and then you have Brittany really taking a victory lap on behalf of her husband that isn't even acknowledging the existence of his haters. But of course, you have Brittany on the side making sure that she rubs salt into the wounds of the haters. I don't necessarily think it's the worst thing, but of course, when you have videos like this,
all those people that doubted us and hated on us and thought we were gonna lose this day, yes, I did!
I can understand why some people have some sort of vendetta against her, I guess. Now, the reason I'm bringing all of this up, and again, I would like to reiterate, this doesn't have anything to do with the game of football. I just thought it was pretty funny. For those of you guys that don't know, one of the top medical experts and the top medical podcasts in the game right now is none other than the Joe Rogan Experience. This is where Joe Rogan gives not medical advice, hosts a variety of guests, and I'm just messing around. I actually really enjoy his podcast, and I like the way he talks to people, and I actually have studied the way he delivers a cadence and whatnot. But of course, some people think it's controversial. Some people think that he delivers misinformation. For any case, for some reason or another, the Mahomes family came up on the Joe Rogan Experience, and I thought this was so random and so bizarre. Joe Rogan didn't even throw a little shot, but my man threw a haymaker at Brittany Mahomes out of nowhere. I mean, I don't necessarily know where this even came from. I mean, actually, if we watch the clip, you'd understand where this came from, because it seemed like Joe Rogan was kind of led into this situation. You'll see what I mean. Take a look at this video.
Ooh, how about that Mahomes? He's good.
No.
Sorry.
You know what I like though? I came around on Jackson.
So right away, you can see this man sporting a Philadelphia Eagles hat, by the way, out of nowhere. He's like, you know what? I came around on Jackson Mahomes.
Who's
I'm a
that?
fan.
The brother?
His brother that does TikToks, and his wife, his annoying wife that screams.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone hates on them, and it actually makes me happy.
There's just something about a Philadelphia Eagles fan that clearly isn't bitter about the way the Super Bowl went down.
Yeah, people really hate on the Mahomes family, and it makes me happy. I'm glad that people hate on the Mahomes family.
But wait, just watch.
Have you ever seen this? I don't watch. Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback. Well, second. Jalen was obviously MVP.
Dude, really? I hate seeing way too much bias in any show. Jalen Hurts is awesome. He deserves every single penny that he's gonna get, but come on, bro.
Patrick Mahomes has a wife that's just wild. She's up in the box. She's films herself. It's her and his brother. His brother does TikToks. And Patrick's obviously, he's the man. And then he's got a crazy wife and a brother up in the box, doing all that shit.
I'd say that's a pretty good way to describe the situation. He pretty much explained the situation in 20 seconds or less.
His wife's up there you thought you were gonna beat us? Think again. It's the best.
Forcing everyone like Bert to fucking be in a video.
Oh, yeah, she's alive.
She's alive.
Whoa, Jesus.
It's a completely different story whenever you're showing any human being Brittany Mahomes for the first time and how she reacts to her husband's success. I mean, you gotta admit, you don't really see someone that indulges in their husband's success the way she does. I mean, more power to her. You should support your husband's success, but the way she goes about it is like, Now that's nothing. Wait until you see what Joe says here. This is where things start getting a little crazy.
Problem is they keep that same energy when you get divorced. They come after you. They come after you with that same.
So that's the line. They keep that same energy when you get divorced. And he continues to explain. I mean, he does get an opportunity to explain himself and what he thinks. And I don't know, tell me what you guys think about this.
Same energy. These kids are going crazy. Who's like football fans? Like who gets more fired up than football fans?
I'd say Proud Boys.
Well, especially when the FBI people are
Mahomes' wife rules.
riling things up.
So this one line, they keep that same energy when you get divorced, is what started this whole beef. And it's by far one of the most random beefs that I think that I have ever seen. So Brittany actually clapped back at this, and I don't blame her for standing up for herself because honestly, that's some pretty shit thing to say about someone. That's a horrible thing to say about anyone. Like, these two, Brittany and Patrick, are high school sweethearts. It seems like Brittany is definitely a little unique and has a very specific type of energy to her. Rubs some people the wrong way, whatever. But if you're Patrick's wife and you're hearing that, it's definitely not something that will make you feel comfortable. And her clapback makes a lot of sense. Actually, grown men hating on women in general is pathetic. And I don't necessarily know what she's trying to say over here.
Yes, grown men can't hate on women in general.
I do think it's kind of messed up to say that, but at the same time, you could clearly tell Joe Rogan is being introduced to this couple for the very first time. He's being introduced to the whole concept of Jackson and Brittany and Patrick. I mean, the Eagles fans explaining to it perfectly. It's like Patrick Mahomes is the man, and then he has a wife in the stands that's going like this. In Joe Rogan's mind, he probably thinks that they met maybe after Patrick got famous or in college, not necessarily when they were high school sweethearts at the age of 16. And it seems like following this, Brittany would post this picture on Instagram with her and Patrick Mahomes with just a heart. But it seems like these two are happy. I think Brittany could do a better job navigating the public eye and maybe leveraging her husband's advantageous situation of being the face of the NFL a little bit better. I mean, I think there is a way that she could twist this all around and get the public to like her as opposed to feeling this way about her. At the same time, I do think what Joe Rogan said was kind of a low blow, but at the same time, I don't necessarily think Joe Rogan was well informed about their relationship to even say what he did. So let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think about all this. I thought the whole story was very interesting and funny to me. Don't worry, this is going to be the first of another video that will 100% pertain to football, I promise. Thought it'd be a fun little bonus for you guys. So I'm your boy Mike, and I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.